This video is a tutorial to see how to use Ashes CLI. CLI stands for Command Line Interface, and it's a feature that we've added that enables you to run Ashes without using the graphical user interface. So essentially you can write a script in Python or MATLAB or C#, anything that can call an executable, and then you can run Ashes from that. To show you how that works, I'm gonna explain you the basics of the CLI, and for that we will need the GUI, but then afterwards we're gonna close it and not use it anymore. It's good if you know how the batch manager works, so you can have a look at the batch manager video. I'm putting a link now on the top right corner of your screen. But so if we dive into it, we're gonna see how the CLI works from here. So to run a batch in Ashes, you need a model. So it could be a default template, or it could be a model that you've saved. So in this case, we're going to use this model called 𝗠𝘁𝗵𝗯 that is saved in my Ashes folder. Then you go to batch, and you need to import. You can create a new batch, or you can import a CSV file. And so here I'm going to show you. So this is the model that I'm using right now, 𝗠𝘁𝗵𝗯, and then I have a batch CSV file that's called new batch. And if I open this, you can see a few parameters. So the wind type is uniform, the wind speed 10 meters per second, the wind angle. It could be anything, it could be any parameters from the model. Right now I just modified these three. And the way the batch works is that you take the model that you have, so this 𝗠𝘁𝗵𝗯 model here, and then you modify it according to the parameters that are specified in the CSV file. So if I import my CSV file here, we can find the parameters that we saw before. And so what this is going to do when I press play is that it's going to change the default model that I had, so the model that we opened, and apply these parameters. Okay, and so that's what I do by pressing play here. What the CLI does is exactly the same thing, except that instead of clicking around, it does everything automatically. Okay, so now we can close this, and we're not going to need to open it. We're not going to need to open it anymore for this video. So if you go here to your Ashes folder, there's a folder called Ashes CLI examples, and here's we have a couple of examples that you can use to get started with. So I can start with the simple example here. So this is the minimum that you need. This file here gives you the minimum that you need to run a simulation with Ashes CLI. And I can go through it quickly, but basically you need to know where the executable for Ashes CLI is, and by default it's going to be here, program files, Ashes version number, and then Ashes CLI. You need to say where the Ashes file is. So this is the default file, right? This is the base file that is going to be modified by the CSV file. So this is the base Ashes model. And then you need to say where the CSV file is, the CSV that's going to be used to modify the base model. And once you have these three things, you can run this line here. And then so where the exe file is, where the Ashes file is, and where the CSV file is. This is for Python. For MATLAB or for C# or for whatever, it's going to be something similar. And so that's it. That's the basis for it. So from here, the possibilities are endless. You can run this in an optimization loop. You can run it in a script that does pre and post processing, or whatever you can think of. We have an example for an optimization loop, a very simple one, and we also have an example here where we pre-generate some wind speeds, then run some simulations, and then plot a graph. And I'm gonna go slowly through this one, hoping that it's helpful. But you already have the basis to run Ashes CLI. So this script, what it does is that it generates random wind speeds, then it runs simulations with Ashes, and then it plots a graph with the average power during the simulation versus the wind speed for all the simulations that you run. I'm going to show you how I did that with the CLI. So yeah, first where the executable is, then my default or my base Ashes model, which is the one that we used before. So it's in, as you can see, it's here. And then the CSV file that we're going to use, so it's this one here. I have two because I don't want to work on this one. I want to copy it and then modify it, just so that I always have the base CSV file, just in case I've made a mistake. So that's why there's two. And then this is to fetch the results later. And this is the default folder where Ashes saves the results, but you can change that within Ashes. And yeah, so if I show you this file here, I have some parameters. So some parameters related to turbulent winds, the simulation duration, which is 11 minutes. These are things that we're going to change in the CLI. And this is what this part here does. So it's changing, for example, the duration of the simulation to 1 minute, just for this video, just to make it quicker. And then this one here is generating random wind speeds, right? So 10 wind speeds between 3 and 18 meters per second. Yeah, and this bit here is what copies the CSV file. So if I run my script now, so I should stop here, and what you can see now is that I have a new file here, and that's exactly a copy of this one. So if I open this, I have exactly the same parameters, and yeah, with duration 660, and then we're going to be modifying this file here, and that's what this bit of code does. Okay, it reads the CSV file into a Panda object in Python, and then it changes the values of the different parameters. So that's what all these lines do, and it does it for each wind speed. For each wind speed, we add a line, and then we kind of put the parameters that we want in this line. So if I run this bit of code, now I can come back here, and I should have 10 load cases with 10 different random wind speeds. And that's what I have here. So these are my random wind speeds, 10 load cases, and yeah, the simulation is 60 seconds just for this video to be quicker. This line here, that's the one that is going to run simulations. So if I move on, you can see now on the terminal that all these simulations are going, and you have the progress here as well. Yeah, so okay, well, we're already done, so this was quite quick actually. So I can lower this again. Cool. And yeah, so now all the simulations have been run. The results have been saved in the default folder, which is this one, as I said. And now, yeah, this next bit of code here, this block, is just to retrieve these results, and this is just to plot them. So now I can show you this. I think now I should have my little graph here. So this is what comes out of my script. So it's just a plot with the different wind speeds and the different rated powers, and yeah, you can see how the rated power of my model is 5 MW here. For high wind speeds, I have 5 MW. I'm gonna run just a much longer one just to have a nicer graph. So we're gonna run one that's gonna be, yeah, let's say 11 minutes with removing 60 seconds of transients, and we're gonna run 500 simulations. Cool. So now I'm gonna run this and yeah, pause or edit the recording out so that I can show you once we have the results. Cool, so there you go. The 500 simulations are over, and now we have a little graph with the average power during the simulation and the wind speeds. I guess if the simulations were long enough, you'd end up with just a line, but now you can see all the randomness in the wind. Cool, so that's one of the things that you can do with the Ashes CLI. I hope that this was helpful. As always, don't hesitate to get in touch if you have any questions. Cool, see you around.